So, you want to start writing with AI. Very smart of you. Because the truth is, AI is a literal cheat code. If you use it properly. And that's a big if. In this video, I'm going to show you how to start writing with AI properly. And this is something that most people do not do. But before I get into that, who am I? Why am I wearing this hoodie? Why am I wearing this hat? Well, don't worry about that because I actually know what I'm talking about. My name is Godfrey the Great. Great by name, great by nature, I know. I've been writing on Medium for 2.5 years. I've written over 660 articles. I've got 27,000 plus followers. I've made thousands of dollars from the partner program. In short, I know what I'm talking about. And more importantly, for this video, I've been writing with AI every day for basically the last 2 years. So I know how it's done, and I'm going to share the source with you. Now, let's talk about where most people go wrong with AI. The main problem is they think it's this magic box. Like it's Pandora's box or something. They think they're going to open it and all this good shit's going to come out. Because it's AI. Obviously, Pandora's box was really bad. But for some reason, they've got this idea about AI that's just totally nonsense. They think AI is an infinite vending machine when it's not. But most people don't realize this, so they just chuck in a bunch of prompts and just hope for the best, expect it to create magic. This is silly. This is not how AI works. And if you use AI like this, I got some bad news for you, dear viewer. That's bad. That's not good. But don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to tell you how to use AI properly, and you are going to absolutely dominate from here on out. Because since I've done this, my productivity has gone through the roof. Seriously, like what you're able to actually do with these tools when you know what you're doing is incredible. Anyway, without further ado, I call it the BEST method. B-E-S-T. Best. And I think it's aptly named, if I do say so myself. Here's what the letters stand for. Brain dump, evaluate, shape, tweak. And if you do this properly, AI will make your writing sharper, smarter, and certified. But don't leave the video just yet like some crackhead Oompa Loompa, okay? Because I actually have to show you how the BEST method works. Okay, so here's how it works. I'm a genius, right? I come up with so many amazing ideas all the time, and I just have to put them somewhere. So what I do is I just write them down. This is called a brain dump. Then, after I've written these things down in Google Docs or Cortex or wherever I'm writing at the time, I'll shove it all down ChatGPT's throat. Pause. By the way, I have the paid version, so I don't know what the free version's like. I hear a lot of people talking shit about ChatGPT, but I will not accept any blasphemy. She is my precious. She is my love. Anyway, after coming up with something, I will share it with Chat and ask her what she thinks. She'll then tell me a bunch of things, but this is really important, so do not skip over this. You need to understand that ChatGPT and all of these AI tools will act like they are your #1 biggest fan. Everything you write in these tools will be met with the most optimistic, the most crazy fangirl response you could possibly imagine. Do not fall for this trap. Remember, these AI companies are not your friend, okay? They do not like you. They do not know you. All they want is for you to spend as much time and as much money on their tool as possible. So the AI tool is always going to respond in a way that's going to boost your ego. Do not fall into this trap. I've done it before. You will spend hours just talking about how awesome you are and how amazing you are at everything. And this is bad, okay? This is a bad use of your time. Do not do this. So what you have to do instead is specifically tell ChatGPT or any AI tool you prefer to use to point out holes in your logic. You need to tell it to be critical with the ideas you've shared with it. You need to ask them to provide different perspectives. You do not want a yes man. You do not want to interact with this tool as if it's your fan. You need to treat it more like it's your business partner or your really, really intelligent assistant that's overperforming. And I cannot stress this enough, do not fall for this trap, because this is what most people do, right? Most people do not treat these tools as these productivity steroids. Instead, they treat them like they're their bedside therapist. This is really dumb. Like, these are the most powerful tools that we have at our disposal right now. And they're so cheap. They are so easy to access. So do not fall for the ego trap. Remember, ChatGPT, OpenAI, whatever, all of these corporations, they are omnicorps, right? If they could have it their way, you would be a slave to them. You would only be spending your time on their tool. So do not forget this, it's very important. After you've told it to not be a cheerleader and to be more of your sparring partner, it will give you some suggestions. Some of them are going to be good, but others are going to be rubbish. And this, dear viewer, is the whole point, because you cannot outsource your critical thinking to ChatGPT or any of these AI tools. You have to use your own judgment. It is a tool. You are the mind behind it. It is only as good as your input. Which means just because AI says something, just because it makes a suggestion, does not mean you have to take it on face value. You need to use your own experience, your own insights to come up with your own conclusions. So sometimes it will suggest things to me that I just think are dumb. Other times it will suggest things that I'd never even thought of before, and I'm grateful that it brought it up. That's the beauty of it. You get to pick and choose what works and what's good. So, what you do next is very simple. You make the changes and you run through the exact same process. Think of it like sculpting a statue. At first, it's just a big, chunky rock, right? But gradually, you need to sculpt it. You need to gradually just chip away at that rock, and eventually, you will have this beautiful statue of Alexander the Great or Socrates. In other words, you keep shaping and tweaking it. The best method, remember? Shape and tweak. If you do this properly, you will feel like Super Mario after he eats one of those yellow stars and goes crazy. Now, as a writer, you might be wondering what projects you can use AI for, so let me just share what I've used it for in my own life. I've used it to help me write YouTube scripts, Medium articles, screenplays, emails, headlines, even text messages. You can really use it for just about anything. It's all about how far your imagination is willing to go. So, for example, when I was writing my second screenplay, I used to write scenes and then send it to ChatGPT and get it to tell me what it thought of it. I'd ask her, what works, what sucks, and I'd tell her specifically to be as brutally honest as possible. She'd come back with a response, I'd see if her response was good or and then I'd make changes accordingly, and it would be this entire back and forth process as I wrote the screenplay. It's really good because it's basically like having a professional script writing coach. You just don't have to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to access it. For Medium articles, I'd mainly use it for proofreading and improving the structure as well as the flow of the thing I've written. It saved me so much time with proofreading. Trust me, do not be reading through your articles and trying to proofread it yourself. You will make mistakes because it could be quite tiring when you're dedicating so much effort to reading through and editing multiple posts. ChatGPT can do it really quickly, and then you just go through the version that it proofread. For YouTube scripts, it's pretty much the same kind of process. I'd write some ideas down, I'd give it to ChatGPT, it would structure it, I'd make edits, I'd put it back in, it would give it back to me, I'd polish it off, and then here I am. This is scripted. It's important to understand that each time you do this, you are the one who is in control. You're not relying on the AI to come up with ideas for you. You're just using it as a helping hand to best present the ideas that you're already having. Trust me, you do not want to just generate content from AI and pass it off as your own. That's really dumb, and it's really obvious. Do not let it do your thinking for you, because you need to become a very good thinker. You cannot do that if you constantly rely on this tool to think for you. That's just stupid. Now, to be clear, this is not the only method you can use. I mean, it's called the best method for a reason, but there are many other methods you can use. I recommend you watch Dan Koh's video on his Cortex channel. He's got some really good resources about how to write with AI. I also encourage you to check out other creators and see what they have to say on AI, because I do not have all the answers. I haven't seen all of the resources. This has mostly been through my own trial and error, but there are many people who are making really good content about this stuff. Dickie Bush and Nicholas Cole is a good example. They are at Ship 30 for 30. They have their own AI paid newsletter where they're constantly giving prompts and things like that. You can check out David Perel's channel. He's got a really long guide on how to write with AI there. It's about over an hour long. So I encourage you to check out these other resources because they will have insights that I haven't had. And I think for you, you should be trying to learn from as many different places as possible and learning how to use this tool in multiple different ways, not just the way I use it. But to open your mind even more and to just give you some more value, let me share some other ways different writers can use AI. Copywriters can use AI to come up with headline variations, and then they can test their headlines with the variations that AI created, as well as create kind of a hodgepodge, a mixture of both, and they can test which headlines actually perform better. People who write novels can use it to help generate backstories, explore plot twists, or test emotional beats. They can even use it as a writing consultant. You can literally tell it that it's an expert novelist. By the way, I got that tip from Danko, so you should definitely check out his Cortex channel. He has a lot of tutorials going over how to best prompt AI, but basically you can tell it that it's an expert novelist. And if you give a very detailed prompt of how you want it to critique your work, it will do it. Journalists obviously use it for proofreading as well as getting more information faster. A lot of social media writers like me, Danko, Nicholas Cole, Dickie Bush, we can use it to repurpose long-form articles that we've written into threads or carousels on places like Instagram. Bloggers can use it to test SEO titles. They can get it to write meta descriptions. But this is the thing, right? All of the examples I've given here, it's still the writers who are doing the writing. They're still the ones thinking for themselves. They're still the ones in charge. Which means AI is not going to replace their work. It's only going to enhance it. You'll only suck if you rely on it to think for you. That's the main thing I want you to take away from this video. You're the chef. You have all of the ingredients right here. AI is simply the seasoning. Click the first link in the description if you want to learn how to turn your writing into a magnetic asset that will draw readers in, get you more followers, and help you build an audience on social media. Click the second link in the description if you're serious about becoming a digital writer in 2025, you want to take audience building to the next level, and you want to dominate Medium just like I have. And if you like this video, I think you'll like this next one where I'll show you how to become an idea generation machine so you don't have to rely on AI to come up with ideas for you. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.